Hello everyone, Charmingman 93. I've got my shades on because it's summertime, but I can't enjoy the sun because today I've got to do that Young Turks video I promised everyone. Now, this is the next critical beatdown, and it's basically about should we have segregation in schools to teach people about race or something. I can't remember. It was something to do with similar to the Sarkeesian video that I did earlier, which was about maybe segregation helps people learn better, and we know that's not the case. So let's do this. Alright people, let's buckle your seatbelts because this is a whole lot of stupidity.
One private school in New York is trying to grapple with the issue of race relations, and they're doing so in a very controversial way. I have the details, and now you get to decide whether or not it really is controversial. Now, this is Fieldston Lower School in New York City. Again, it is a private school, and what they're planning on doing is...
Just before I let her finish her point, I don't know about you guys, but when this was first uploaded, this was not the title. It was actually a hell of a lot more direct title. It basically was saying, is segregation a good thing for education? Which the answer is no. And I don't know if they got some kind of bad rep about this, but if you look at the likes and dislikes, you can see a hell of a lot of people dislike it. It's kind of half and half, although worryingly 390 odd people, or 80 odd people shall we say, like it. Now I don't know if that's Young Turks fans will like anything they do, or some people press the wrong button, but knowing humanity, they actually like this. But let's carry on.
Separating their classrooms based on race once a week in order to have discussions about race relations. Now, just to give you some more information, parents get a form asking them to answer for their elementary school age kids. What is your race? The choices are African American, Black, Asian, Pacific Islander, Latina, Latino, multiracial, white, and not sure.
Since when was Asian and Pacific Islander the same thing or in a similar umbrella? The two couldn't be any different. Besides, define Asian.
With this information, the kids, starting in 3rd grade, are split up into racial affinity groups and encouraged to have frank conversations about their identities and experiences, and then reunite for a curriculum designed to foster interracial empathy by encouraging children to recognize differences without disrespect while teaching kids strategies and the language for navigating racial conflict.
Okay, so right off the bat, is this some kind of strange reverse psychology going on with these crazy idiots? Because last time I checked, segregation actually emphasised differences in a negative way. Surely getting people into groups that are mixed and getting to talk about things that are similar will help people get along. I don't know about you guys, but I know for sure that more integration has done a hell of a lot more for the human race than segregation. I mean, did the fucking idiot... Well, yes, an idiot did write this. I mean, racial affinity groups when all the eyes is the same people talking about themselves in small tiny echo chambers. How are you supposed to foster interracial empathy when they're segregated? The only empathy they're going to get is for each other, is for the small groups. I mean, why are the Asians and the Pacific Islanders together? Those two could be any different. And what about the mixed people? I mean, some of them might not even register as mixed, and then they'll be offered the black people, the white people, the Asian people. There's a lot of confusion there. How's it? The only thing it's going to teach people is that the differences are far too much, that we should all be separate but equal. That's what it seems to be teaching kids. Navigating racial conflict. Just get them to be friends. Jesus Christ, this is worse than Marina. Shut up already.
Alright, so you kind of delve deeper into why they're doing this, because the headlines say segregation, and it sounds really bad, but once you look into the details, maybe this could be a credible way of dealing with race relations from a young age.
Oh my god, Alec Asparian! Alec Asparian! What is wrong with you? I thought you were better than this. I thought you were an intelligent young woman who had a hell of a lot going for her. You know, you're not stupid, yet you're saying this could be a good thing as an Armenian American. But don't worry, people, it gets a hell of a lot worse.
I think so. I think it could definitely be, they're onto something. The only issue I have is that I don't think that 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders have the maturity to be able to have this conversation and to learn it and then apply it in their lives. If this was a private school for high school students, I think this would be great, because that's the place where you're now going into the world. You need to learn this. You can understand those conversations. You've also started to experience certain things due to your race, due to your sex, and so you can start to apply those situations and say, this is what happened, and then have someone facilitate that. But a 3rd grader, 4th grader, 5th grader, I don't think they're going to truly learn. And then whatever happens there, they're just going to go home and they're going to get whatever bullshit their parents are saying, and that's just going to take over whatever they learn.
I am so astounded. My shades drop from my hands. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Is this a black guy seriously saying that segregation is a good thing? And is he this is actually what... This is similar to what Marina Shutsup said in regards to innate racial biases. I mean, who gives a fuck what the bloody... Who gives a fuck what the parents are teaching them? The kids aren't necessarily going to be the same. And I bet I know exactly what the parents are teaching, at least most 99% of the kids. Do unto others as you do unto yourself, or whatever the saying goes. He seems to be implying that parents seem to be teaching kids how to be racist. How does he know? As far as I know, if he has kids, he's teaching his own kids to be racist. It's all projection. Now, this woman's even, well, I hesitate to say even worse, but she says some horrible things. I'm putting my shades on.
I disagree. I actually think that it's good to stimulate these conversations before their views of race have hardened.
Basically, indoctrinate them early so that they become racist and agree with all this cultural appropriation, separate but equal bullshit that these fucking racists are trying to peddle into the mainstream.
Dogmatic by experience, and
the only dogmatic people that I know of are these people. But this is the Young Turks in 2015. Dogmatic, crazy social justice warriors. I hesitate to even call them progressives at this point. This is not a progressive stance. This is quite fucking nationalistic and racist. Like this is like some fucking horseshoe level things right now. It's like the white nationalists and the black nationalists coming together, the ones who are all for segregation. This is that. We've got an Armenian American arguing for segregation, we've got a black American arguing for segregation, we've got a white American, although technically Armenians are white, but you know what I mean, also arguing for segregation. What is the world coming to? 1965, or maybe a bit earlier than that, there was segregation in the South, and it's now gone, and now they want it back. But everywhere, in the school system, because kids need to realise that we're all different from each other, and therefore we've got to be separate but equal, because if we don't be separate but equal, we're gonna offend somebody, and if we offend somebody, oh shit, that's a big fucking shitstorm for them, because we can't be offending people, because, you know, offence is taken, not given. Oh wait, no, sorry, to them it's given, not taken. Fucking cretins.
Specifically the school, I read the New York Magazine article by Lisa Miller, which was fascinating, which is a more in-depth look at it. But the school specifically said that at 8-year-olds, and that's I think starting in 3rd grade, they have kind of a vague sense of racial identity. So you're right, they are just forming those, and the idea is to really push them to have uncomfortable conversations that, interestingly enough, in progressive liberal schools, because of color blindness and political correctness, they're not having.
Wow! Wow! Political correctness is now the bad thing. Because apparently not being nice to people and judging them on their character, not their skin colour, is now a bad thing. I mean, I'm sorry, but segregation doesn't sound cool to me. Fucking hell. I don't know, I'm not sure how long I can take of this, but I'm going to soldier on.
Everyone is dancing around the issue. I really
This is like what Marina Shut Up said. No wonder Sargon of Akkad put them together. Because this is you've got the grassroots Marina Shut Up, and you've got these fucking idiots who are actually peddling the mainstream bullshit out. I just can't believe it. What has happened to these people? I think I'll probably explain that later, but I can't get my head around this. Am I stupid? Am I stupid to think that people should be equal and not be segregated? Like, I don't believe in separate but equal. I think everyone should be together doing whatever they want to do. Fucks, what are we going to do? We're going to build walls to hide put all the black people in Harlem, put all the white people in, I don't know, Queens, whatever, all the Asians in wherever they are, and the Latinos in, could be Brooklyn, I'm not sure. This is what they want. And political correctness is somehow wrong? If anything, political correctness is kind of stopping these people from enacting segregation. I have to think fucking political correctness could well stop some of these people. I think we should use it.
have to take off our rose-colored glasses about race in this country and look at the full, complicated prism of like colors and situations that make up like the racial landscape here, and then take in like the harsh reality of what's happening, and that's the only way we have a brighter future.
Yeah, I think it's important.
Hang on a sec. No, I don't know if this is the part of the video, but is she basically arguing for apartheid? Like, you know, send all the blacks back to Africa, send all the whites. Oh wait, no, they can just stay in America and just do whatever, you know. Forget the Native Americans. God, I am stumped. I am stumped. I just don't know what to say right now. I don't know what to say. But you know, Anna Kasparian saying something.
To definitely reach children when their ideology is malleable. And
See, like I said again, it's brainwashing. It's trying to get them while they're young. And I can't believe this is the state of left-wing politics in 2015, when they're seriously suggesting that they should indoctrinate children with racial ideology. Racial ideology. What the fuck? It's just come full circle. You know? We want colour blindness. Oh, we want to now appreciate people's differences, when really there's not many differences, apart from cultural differences, which are mostly insignificant in multicultural societies that get along for the most part. Yes, in your country and in my country too, there are issues. Nobody is denying that. Nobody's wearing rose-tinted glasses. But the reason why so few people talk about race is because, well, there's not a lot of racial tension, really. If anything, there are issues that are coming up in the media and in the news, etc., that have a racial element to it, but you could easily argue that that's not the case at all, or it's just a small part of it. But nobody's saying there's no issues that need to be fixed. Yet these people seem to think, do you remember apartheid? Do you remember Jim Crow? Isn't that a good idea to sort our race problems by basically dividing people? And we start with the young by turning them into prejudiced arseholes. I mean, I'm still trying to wrap my head around the fact that they think that segregation is somehow going to create affinity. If anything, highlighting differences is how you get people to hate people. That's how. Well, that's how you start a war, and how you get people to kill each other. By first you dehumanise the target, and then you show up their differences to see why they are inhuman, and then it's easy to kill them. That's what they did in Nazi Germany. Fucking hell, these fascists.
When you get older, I think that with mass media and the stereotypes constantly being thrown at you, you're more likely to believe in certain things that are difficult to change.
This generation has the World Wide Web. Starting with my generation. We are the first generation in the history of the world to have an absolute wealth of information at the single click. All this information. The kids can already use this at like 2 or 3. They are not going to be harmed by stereotypes. In fact, this next generation, if we bring them up correctly, could well remove all stereotypes. These could be the people that set us in the right path towards rationality, logic, to a better society. But these people don't seem to think that's a good idea. And I just cannot believe it. It just can't believe it.
But I mean, I think about my own experiences, right? This is. I know I was really young, but this is an embarrassing story to share. But I think it actually kind of gives you an example of why I think this is a good idea. The first time I ever thought about race was when I was in kindergarten, and that was the first time I had ever met a black girl, right? So I grew up in an Armenian household. My community is predominantly Latino. And I had never seen a black girl or a black person before. And I remember in kindergarten, you know, just kind of like staring at her and wondering like, what's going on? My parents had never said anything about black people. And so I like started talking to her and I hurt her feelings because I asked her about her hair.
What? So basically, you're saying that the reason why we should have segregation is so that we don't hurt people's feelings? Kasparian, you seem to be projecting your own insecurities onto us. You have an embarrassing memory about asking a rather silly question to a girl that you were curious about. Children are curious. I'm sure that the girl would later on be as curious as you and do the exact same thing about other people's hair. And you're confusing character building situations with racial inequality and prejudice. You were just curious. You were not trying to hurt the girl's feelings. If her feelings hurt, so what? So fucking what? You move on, you learn from the experiences. So what if your parents didn't tell you about black people? Why should they? As far as they're aware, they're just people. Why should they have to tell you about black people? You'll meet them eventually. Why should they have to tell you? Not everyone thinks about race 24/7. The world isn't like that. I don't get... These people are obsessed.
So I notice these differences. I'm literally a 5-year-old kid. I'm trying to understand, like, why are we different? What's going on? Is this normal? Is it, you know, so those conversations need to be had at a young age. So
we've already had those conversations, and we realise that we're far more similar than we give ourselves credit for. We don't need these fucking conversations again. Those were the conversations that they had back in the 50s and the 60s. We've already had it. We've already gone from that era. We can't go back there. We've got to move on. What is wrong with you people?
Kids know what to expect. Kids know what the differences are. Kids understand that, hey, just because we might be different in the way we look, doesn't mean that we're different as people. And
that's what I've been saying. That's exactly what I've been saying, but it's not what they've been saying. They've been saying that it's okay to judge someone based on your colour. They're saying that we're different because of our skin colour. All the last 4 minutes and 30 seconds has been Alec Kasparian and those two other dickheads saying the complete opposite. What? Oh my god, the mind boggles. This is stupid. None of my shades can protect me from such stupidity. And I keep muting it by accident. Maybe that's a sign. Ugh, God's sake.
I just wish that the media's coverage was a little more detailed about it, because I don't like the headlines that focus solely on the segregation component of it.
Yeah.
Before this... Oh, I keep doing that. I'll just move it back a bit, guys. Now, before this idiot chimes in, Anna Kasparian, you are a smart woman. You know why they're saying segregation. Because segregation is wrong. You could just look from that quote from Vox that the idea of this fucking lesson is stupid. How are you supposed to learn about other races when you're with your own race for once a week? The only way you learn about other cultures is by experiencing those other cultures. You don't just hide away in an echo chamber and go la 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 la, do you? These people are stupid. That's not how the world works. But again, it reflects their worlds. These people are rich. These people live in the 3 towers, safe in their little chambers, right and the left. And as soon as they go into the outside world, they can't believe how different it is, and somehow everything has to be like their world. Well, I've got news for you. The world doesn't care about you. The world only cares about itself. The world is not all about us all sticking in our little gated communities and being in echo chambers. The world is about experiencing people and cultures and being together as one. Like I said before in my other critical beatdown. One race, one love, one true religion. Even though I'm an atheist, you know what I mean. Queen! Did they not listen to Queen? Hell, did he not listen to whatever? God damn it.
Focus solely on the segregation component of it.
Yeah. No, I'm totally with you, because I remember those experiences as a young black guy growing up in Texas in an all-white school and having those same experiences and issues. But what if we're going to then, because I agree with this happening, it's just that age group. But see, what happens then is, I know the parents now, even with my kids. My children and their friends can learn something in school, and their parents have a different ideology than what they're learning. They go home and they absorb and they take in what their parents are saying. It happens to all of us. So say, for instance, you went home and you would have said, hey, I've never seen this black girl, and if your parents would have had any type of racism in them, they might have said something to you.
To me, this is entirely projection. Also, this is what social justice warriors, or actually this is what social justice ideology does to the brain. Rots it, and it makes black people be in favour of segregation. Enough said. This guy is actually projecting and assuming that people's fucking parents are racist. I don't know about you, but I am assuming, with a good reason and through a lot of life experience, I seem to have a lot less than you through my years, but if we were to add it up, I bet I have so much more than you, by the way, that most parents aren't racist. Most parents would simply say, be nice to people. As far as I'm aware, the parents' ideologies are definitely not your ideology. I can't believe that you can sit there as an African American, as a minority, and say segregation is good. Are you so unself-aware? Are you so out of it that you cannot see the utter stupidity and creepiness and utter insidiousness of this idea? Does your parents' history mean nothing to you? Your grandparents, your great-grandparents, do they mean nothing to you? What would they think to see you standing there and saying that segregation is a good thing? You're from Texas! You're from the South, where there was segregation. You should know better. You're a fucking idiot. That's all you are. I have nothing else to say about you. I've got 3 more minutes of this fucking shite. How much more can I take? This is fascism. From left-wing progressives.
That would have taken away whatever love and support or whatever you've gotten from the teacher or whatever conversation. If we're going to do it at this age...
Love and support from the teacher? You should get love and support from your parents, and I think I'd rather have the parents teaching these kids about race relations than these teachers. They don't seem to have a fucking clue.
That it should be mandatory that the parents should be there as well.
Oh,
That way
no.
the parents can learn,
Okay.
and that way everyone's being supported, everyone's on the same page.
Yeah.
Because I just get nervous of if dad's racist, you know, by some degree, and you come home and you're like, we have this conversation, and he says, oh, Latinos are stupid, or Asians are this, or blacks are that, and then all of a sudden you're like, well, I guess Dad is right.
Yeah.
Fucking... This guy seems to be awfully paranoid. I don't know if it's me, but this guy seems to have an air of paranoia in his voice, as if, like, apparently most people's parents may be racist, and that they say, oh, Latinos are stupid, blah 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 blah. It's like, no, hardly anyone thinks like that. Hardly anyone. The only thing they think of, if they're all in that room, in fact, I'm going to save it because I think it's coming up later at that point. All I can say is, you're a fucking idiot.
Have a control group. This school is very progressive, private school.
It's fucking fascist to me.
And in fact, the real critics are people who are so liberal that they have a problem with the segregation aspect of it.
Even conservatives would have a fucking problem with it. That's how bad it is. Even conservatives. Even libertarians. This woman's fucking crazy. I mean, those two are mad. This girl's particularly crazy. I'm actually really struggling to think, out of the three stooges, which one is dumber.
See how if you took this model and broadened it and put it in a public school with a much different dynamic, then you could certainly run into those problems. But some of the quotes from Lisa's article that stood out to me is, she said researchers suggest that a lot of authentic conversations about race have been inhibited by liberal values.
Wow! The social justice warriors show their true colours. They're not Marxists. They're not liberals. They're not even conservatives. They're not even communists. They're just fucking fascists. That's all they are. All they're interested in is their own little power. They want to divide and conquer us. They want to make sure that everyone hates each other. I'm probably tinfoiling here, but please bear with me. They want to hate each other so they can divide and conquer us and rule us, and it's fucking horrible. Or they're just genuinely stupid and don't have a lot of life experience and think segregation's a good thing. They've clearly not read a history book in their life. I'm speechless. The lack of self-awareness is absolutely goddamn incredible. This is beyond even beyond even full Macintosh's most beyondness. This goes into fucking orbit. This is beyond the puppet that guy did. It's beyond everything of that chart. This is just plain old fascism, and they're showing the true colours here. I am embarrassed right now to be considered as part of the same movement as these people, apart from social justice. That aside, liberalism, socialism, whatever left-wing ideology there is, you know, how can I be of a similar ilk to these people? All what they're saying is alien to me. This is not how I was brought up. It's certainly not how they were brought up. I don't... Who drummed into these people's heads, especially Anna Kasparian, that segregation is alright? She would have never said this 5 years ago. She would never have said this 10 years ago. I don't know when the Young Turks started, but when it started, she never would have said that. I just know it. They wouldn't have said it. They've been indoctrinated. And I don't feel sorry for them. Because really, they're stupid. They're not victims, they're just idiots. They're blindly believing this fucking shite.
And that the cumulative result is that unspoken constraints, we have these unspoken constraints create a nation of fellow citizens who are foreigners to each other. We do not...
That's what happens when you segregate them. This is what happens when you think it's a good idea to teach people about race by segregating them so they talk about race within their own little groups without actually talking to other people until they're all brought back in the classroom. How's that supposed to create affinity and help bridge divides? Fucking hell, it's not rocket science!
Not speak to each other about our real authentic experiences.
You wouldn't know authentic, it slapped you in the fucking face, bitch! You're white, for fuck's sake! What do you know about authentic fucking experience, racial fucking shite. I can't even express words without swearing. I cannot. This angers me. We've just a bunch of nationalists and anarcho-Kasparian just going, yeah, this is good, yeah. I despair for you, anarcho-Kasparian. I despair for you. I don't care about those two because they're idiots. Those two could be more similar, but you should know better. I keep repeating myself because I cannot think, because the stupidity is just overwhelming me.
And we become mute xenophobes whose hearts rush to their throats when a racially charged comment or conflict-breeding curiosity arises, and the idea being...
If a xenophobic comment wants to rise up, don't you think people would rise up against it? Don't you think people would go, fuck? A curiosity is fine. A personal question that doesn't meant to harm people is fine if you explain and shit. Fucking hell.
And even just the fact that white people don't even recognize their own whiteness and their own white privilege.
Yeah, white privilege. Yeah, there it is. How can you not? The only people who's not got any self-awareness is you. Everyone else does. Everyone else is going by the merry way, being accepting of each other. The only thing that they are tolerable of is the personalities. That's the only thing you need to tolerate. Culture, who cares? We're all humans.
Yeah. And our race is invisible because we're the mainstream.
I did love when she said that, man. White people have a stake in the conversation.
Yeah.
That was really great. I was like, about time.
Right, because we need to understand what...
I thought the white people were the devil. I can't take this. I can't take it any longer. I can't take this. This is just so stupid.
Otherness feels like. And I remember...
What the fuck? Ah! Ah! This is crazy. Ah, my brain.
Anthropology classes in college, and finally that switch flipped where I was like, oh, my life is a construct just like anybody else's, but I see it because I don't see it because my world is, you know, I'm blind to it. Really.
Yeah.
You're blind to reality. That's what you're fucking blind to. You are. He is. And anarcho-Kasparian is. You're all fucking blind to reality. You're not blind to racial problems. You're not blind to political problems. You're blind to reality. Although technically maybe they all encompass reality, but the only reality that you're not blind to is your own bloody fantasies.
So I think anytime anyone's trying something creative, progressive, different in the conversation around race, I applaud it. It could fall on its face, and for sure it's already super controversial. Like this.
It's going to fall on its face.
These PTA meetings where parents are just, there were some really interesting conversations around parents who are Jewish but they don't feel like they're white, and then there were black parents that were like, whoa, you are white, don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
Wow, so we're gonna get the parents racist on each other now, are we? Fucking hell. If this woman here is basically advocating for fucking segregation, he's agreeing with it, she's agreeing with it, or they've all advocated for it, I am just astounded. I'm gonna carry on. It's near the end now, anyway. I'm gonna have to try to calm down. I tried to play faux anger, but seriously, racism makes me angry. What can I say?
You know what I mean? Like, those conversations are hard and uncomfortable and need to happen. So I'm excited that it is.
That plays into what I was just saying here. Of now you have these parents who have a different ideology, and now you are teaching these kids. But if the parents are on the same accord, it doesn't go anywhere.
No intelligent person, hell, even someone who's just got normal IQ, would fucking stand for this. Hell, even a stupid person would be like, that sounds pretty dumb, mate. Don't you think? Even Cletus from The Simpsons would think this is fucking stupid.
Never underestimate the power of education, though, because there are certain values that I grew up with that I rejected because of education. Like, I'm an atheist because of my education. I was, told over and over again, like, you need to marry an Armenian guy, this and that. I rejected that as well because of my experiences. So I think experiences also play a huge role.
Then you, Anna, would know better than anyone that segregation is wrong. If you even went against your parents' wishes to marry an Armenian and married whoever you married, how can you then sit in that chair and say we should be separate but equal. You're basically denying me and all those mixed race people in that school our existence. Let alone the rights to the white people, the black people and the Asian people and the Latino people, the Pacific Islanders from interacting with each other. At least to understand that they're all human at the end of the day. The only difference is culture and a slight evolutionary differences that don't even impact us, it just helps with the environment. I've seen so many contradictions. It's kind of like deep down you know this has to be stupid. You must know that. Why am I agreeing with these people? I have a husband or wife, I don't know, you know, who's not Armenian, yet I am talking about segregation. You talk about something else that was a contradiction before. I'm really sorry for you, but if you do this again I will have no sympathy. But anyway, let's watch the last few seconds and I will conclude.
And remember, never underestimate how rebellious kids can be.
Yes, that's what I was actually implying. These kids are smarter than you think. Like I said, these kids have the internet. There's no way that they're going to end up like you want them to, although to be fair, if they're already along that path there's no way we can stop them. So anyway, at the end of the day, I just cannot believe that in 2015 we're seriously saying that segregation could be a good thing. Just I don't look, if they wanted to pretend, if they wanted to do some kind of reenactment of segregation, just like a study for history class, I can understand that, because you'd want to recreate what it was like, obviously without, you know, hostility, but just to see, just say this is what it was like. So, you know, it would only be within that class. It would not be a whole week devoted to it. But no, apparently we have to segregate the kids, so somehow while they're all talking to each other about themselves and maybe other people, they can then come back and somehow feel more affinity when really all they'll feel is more differences. Stupidity, people. This has been Charmingman 93. Like and share the video, subscribe to my channel. Seriously, like that video, because I need it. And I'll see you later.